18th, 2025. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Please join us for a moment of silence. And Councilmember Amaya, will you lead us in the pledge?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, right now is public comment time. We will have comments for the public hearing after this. So first up for public comment, we have Mr. TJ Hassan. Would you please come to the microphone, state your name and address if you care to, and then please keep your comments to 3 minutes. Ms. Connor will be keeping the time.
Hi everyone, my name is TJ Hassan. I've been in Manassas Park for a long time. My office is in Railroad Building, and we built phase 1 Artina apartment and the daycare, and we're working on phase 2 and some other properties in Manassas Park. And we probably like to announce that All American Steakhouse is ready to open to the public on July 22nd. And hopefully we can have everybody come in and join. We're having a VIP night on the 21st. Hopefully we got 4:30. Some people will give some speech, ribbon cutting, and having some people and food served. 6 to 10 tables every 15 minutes. Depends on how many people are coming. Some maybe have to wait, and some can be served right away. We're here today to support removing the proffer for the theater. We own also a lot of office building in the area. Office building, they're not popular anymore. Lifestyle is changing. It's hard to get even a loan from a bank. And I'm in favor really removing the proffers. The theater is needed for the downtown. I'm so happy when I walk around now, I see the change. I remember Manassas Park in the past and today. It's a great move. It's wonderful, and I think Manassas Park is on the map, and a lot of people are going to be coming and drawing people from around to the downtown, and that's our goal, and I think that's everybody's goal. So I really urge you to approve it, and that's for everybody's benefit, in my opinion. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there anyone not signed up for public comment but would still like to speak for public comments? Anyone who wants to speak for public comment? Oh, okay. Tonight we have a public hearing. Our public hearing is regarding proffer condition amendment PCA 10-06-1. I declare the public hearing open. Is there a staff presentation? Oh, hi, Mickey.
Hi. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm going to only give an oral presentation this evening, and it's about the proffer condition amendment for Village at Manassas Park. There is a vacant property across the street from City Hall, as we're mostly everybody in this room is aware of what the location. That property is going to be developed into a movie theater, more of an entertainment complex. And the original proffers, when they were approved back in October 2020, it specifically called out certain uses and square footages. So it was supposed to be an 81,106 square foot building to include a 40,678 square foot movie theater, 36,828 square feet of office, and then 3,600 square feet of inline ground floor retail. With the negotiations of B&B Theater, the property owner is seeking to amend this to remove the office as well as the ground floor retail and just replace it with what they are proposing, which is a 52,860 square foot building that's going to contain a movie theater, restaurant, arcade, and bowling with 274 required parking spaces. So that really is essentially the amendment. You have the information in your packet. It's only the property owner and nobody else. The original signer of the proffers does not need to sign this because the only person affected is the property owner who's seeking the application. I'd be happy to answer any more questions in detail.
All right, any questions from the governing body? Start this way.
Can you just reiterate how many parking spaces it was before and now? Is it the same?
Yes, so I do have charts here that the total for that particular building was going to be 430 spaces. So now it's 274. So that's a reduction of required parking for 156. I mean, the parking's already there, but the use, the amount of required parking has certainly reduced because the size and the uses have changed.
Okay, so it's about half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No questions.
Okay. We'll open it up to the public. Does anyone want to comment on the public hearing? No? All right. Do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. This will be voted on later tonight. Thank you, Mickey. All right, next up is the introduction of the new library director, Ryan Glass.
Ryan, you have to come up here. There's good. I'm not sure that microphone's working, but yes, so we went through a process with LSS to select a new library director. We interviewed a couple different people, and everyone settled on Ryan as our top choice, and she accepted the job. There's a little bit of a bio for her in the agenda item. She last was in England, serving on an Air Force base. I believe it was an English Air Force base, because her husband's in the Air Force and he's now stationed over here. So she started on June 30th. I've only had to respond to City Hall every Saturday she's worked. No, just kidding. It's not your fault. But we're really happy to have her. She's fitting right in, and so I just wanted to get her out here so we can see what she looks like and introduce her. And if you have any questions for her, now's the time.
Hi. You want to say a few words, or?
Sure. I have been in Virginia now for 3 weeks. It is lovely.
Welcome.
I've worked here for, I believe, 12 days, and it's a fantastic facility, really kind people, and I've enjoyed every moment of it so far.
Well, welcome. We appreciate having you here.
Thank you.
Any comments, questions?
No, yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. Welcome. Thank you.
6
Welcome.
welcomes. Well, thank you so much. All right, next is the Polk Manassas Drive signal easement.
Was there a presentation for that, Cal?
Good evening, Mayor Mensing, members of council, resident staff, and guests. I'm Calvin Odell, the Director of Community Development. Here tonight to talk, give an update on the Polk Manassas Drive traffic signal. We've made quite a bit of progress. Since a few years ago, we talked about the peculiarities of the intersection, the signal in this very chamber, and staff was directed to look into alternatives for improving that intersection. We did a preliminary study, feasibility study, because there were so many power lines and utilities in the area. So we actually conducted a feasibility study first, and there was seen the potential to do a mast arm design at that intersection, something more traditional that people are used to. There was also some possibility to do a guy wire system out there. But in November 8th of 2023, we brought the initial study to the governing body, and the decision was made to stick with the mast arm design. So since that time, we issued a design contract to Wallace Montgomery, and they quickly thereafter gave us a preliminary design. And That preliminary design looked something like this. So where we at is a single mast arm coming from one corner, and that single mast arm will carry all of the signal heads. There's just so much stuff on the south side of Manassas Drive, overhead utility wires and everything. It's really not feasible to put up another mast on that side and achieve this with two mast arms, so this will be a single arm configuration. And it was during this initial preliminary concept design we started noticing that perhaps the right-of-way we thought we had, we didn't really have, but we'll get to more of that later. As you can see, the preliminary design not only included signal improvements, but also ADA compliance improvements and crosswalks in all four directions, so an actual signalized crossing. We then got all the way into draft design, and that was when we really realized that we did not have all of the right-of-way space we needed to conduct this improvement. The signal was originally constructed by VDOT before the city was a city, and they constructed some of the backs of sidewalks and things like that and drainage easements that did not convey to the city. So most of the easements that we had for transportation conveyed to the city when we became a city, but these did not. We did try to get VDOT to actually convey those to us now. They were not on board. They said those types of easements do not readily convey. So we did have to have a little bit of a easement acquisition phase to this project that we were not expecting. But you can see in the current draft design, one of them is very hard to see, but there are 4 crosswalks. So there's crosswalks in all directions with push buttons and signal heads, and we will be replacing all the ADA ramps with modern compliant ramps. So 184 and 186 Manassas Drive are the only properties that we actually need a little more space. 186 will have the mast arm base in the corner of its yard. We don't have any easement there. And 184 will have a push button for a ped crossing that is actually on their property, not on right-of-way that we own. We had property owner meetings with both property owners. We offered translation services at those meetings. We offered, draft letters, offer letters that were also in English and Spanish. So those meetings went well. The owners were quite fond of the improvements. They don't like the signal. They think it's somewhat dangerous, and they're tired of watching accidents almost happen there. So there was a lot of support from the owners. We actually have a signed offer package from one owner and a verbal agreement from the other. But they are generally supportive and agreeable to the terms. So we are proceeding with plat preparation. The next steps will be to get the deeds, the plats finished and the deeds prepared to actually go along with the deeds, and we'll get the property formally conveyed. We are offering 100% value for permanent easements. We're not reducing the size of their sellable lots, but we are offering 100% value. They're relatively small easements, 155 square feet and 220 square feet. But since we are encroaching into the yard and taking away some of their usable yard, felt it was best just to offer them full value for the land. We will have to finalize the design. We are in beyond 90% design, but there will be some minor changes to the plan as we move forward. And then we will have to prepare an invitation for bid for the actual construction phase of the project. We hope to return to the governing body in the fall with a construction contract ready to authorize. And we will spend 2026 constructing the signal, plus or minus 12 months is what the engineer's estimate for construction is, and an estimated project cost from the engineer of $200,000. So that's all I have. Any questions or comments on the status of the project so far?
Start with questions, Downs.
No questions, thank you.
No questions, thank you.
I have I guess the question, but I'll ask it anyways. The 200,000 includes like everything, supposedly.
Now, that's just an engineering estimate, and
Okay.
materials costs have continued to climb, so we're not, that's just the best engineering estimate we have at this time.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
My question is on the cover sheet. It said that the amount budgeted was the amount that you said, but then it also had it listed under amount spent. Was it not supposed to be listed there then?
we have spent money on design, and we have spent money We haven't spent any money on acquisitions yet.
Okay.
So all we spent so far is the design costs.
Okay, it's probably an error then, 'cause it says the total amount was already spent.
No.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
425, possibly. I'm trying to find the actual agenda item sheet, sorry.
That's okay.
It's on page 22. It looks like the project is completed from an expenditure standpoint.
Yeah.
If you go to the very first page of your presentation, Calvin, that's the agenda item.
Yeah, no, I have it here. I'll have to get clarity on that. I do not believe we spent $208,000 on design.
Okay.
So I think that might be an error, but I'm not sure. But let me get clarification and email the body.
And also the request.
Sounds good.
Right. So to clarify, there's also a request for 6,000, so.
Yes, that is the amount to move forward with the acquisitions.
Okay.
So the acquisition amount, that's what we're putting in the amount requested, because that's what we would like to authorize to spend purchasing these easements. But, the project was already approved and budgeted for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little tricky to say, we're just giving a presentation. We're not asking for anything from the
Got it.
governing body. But we are intending to spend that on the acquisition of the parcels. And there will be associated costs too that we're not 100% certain about. The plat, we have estimates for the plats, but if there's any deed modification, plat modification that needs to happen on the engineer side, that could be additional cost. But so far, we're not thinking we're over budget yet, because we don't even have a construction bid, so.
Okay, that makes sense, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my only question, is that it's already part of the budget, so it's not additional.
Right, and
request this
we
time.
won't know where we stand with budget until we actually get bids back.
Okay.
And at that point, if there are overages, if no one wants to help us by building an affordable project, then we'll have to bring it back to the governing body for more spending anyway, so.
All right, thank you.
Have the easements been approved from the homeowners yet, or not yet? You have to still go out
We
there?
have a verbal from one, and
Okay.
one of them actually mailed back a package, signed.
Yeah.
We told them it was a draft, we just wanted them to see, but
Okay.
they've signed it. We do have a verbal commitment from the other owner too, so they seem very happy and on board. I don't see any
All right, so
issues.
no hurdles on that end.
Don't think
Okay.
so.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you.
All right, consent agenda. Tonight, the consent agenda includes the approval of the minutes from June 17, 24, and 25, 2025, and that the governing body approve the appointment of Stacy Cyberling as UOSA, yeah, I think I spelled it wrong here. UOSA alternate member with a term running through March 31st, 2027. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carries. All right, meeting calendar. You want to pull up what was presented? Cool. So while he's pulling that up, I did have a conversation with Tony about the August meeting and Vice Mayor Moore. Apparently, there's no important budget items in August, and Vice Mayor Moore would like to propose again that we remove the August meeting. There was no opposition from the city manager either, so if we want to do that, we can approve the calendar with the deletion of the August 19th meeting. I'm not sure how everyone feels about that. Maybe we'll start with Hasib.
No, I oppose. I think we should meet at least once a month.
You think we should? Okay. So yes, it's Hasib. Kevin?
I'm okay with the revision where the August meeting is removed.
Okay. Yessi?
Removal is fine.
Removal? Michael?
Remove it
Yeah.
and all of it.
Remove it, it's fine. I don't have strong opinions either way.
Okay.
so.
All right, so then the motion would be that, unless, do you have something else? No. The motion would be that the governing body approve the resolution setting the FY26 regular meeting dates as presented with the removal of the August 19th meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Abstained? Motion carries. All right. Now, if our first meeting in September goes till midnight, do not blame me, guys.
Don't blame you.
Okay, we'll blame
Still blame
Michael.
you.
We could blame Michael,
Michael,
yes,
yeah.
good idea. All right, audit review.
Hey, good evening, governing body, mayor. It's a pleasure to be before you. Thank you for the time to give you an update on the FY24 audit. My name is Josh McNeil IV. I'm the finance director here at the City of Manassas Park. So the purpose of this presentation is to provide you with a transparent update on the FY24 audit process, outline some key challenges and lessons learned, as well as share some steps we're taking to ensure a timely FY25 audit. So I thought I'd start with just providing some legal context, as well as a timeline comparison to give you an idea of what the typical audit timeline is compared to what we experienced with we're still experiencing with the FY24 audit timeline. So I'll start with the legal context. City Code Section 2.4 mandates an annual audit by a qualified CPA firm. We've been engaged with audit firm Robinson Farmer Cox Associates since October 2016. And so when looking at the audit timeline and comparing the typical timeline to the FY24 audit timeline, I included some milestones that you can reference as well. So I'll just kind of go milestone by milestone down the list. So the initial planning meeting typically occurs in the spring, in May or June. So I'm looking at the typical audit timeline. But when you compare that to what we did in FY24, we actually had our initial planning meeting in March. We experienced transition at the finance director spot on February the 29th. That's when I assumed the role. On March 1st, I reached out to the auditors and asked if we could schedule a planning meeting to get on the same page. So we had that meeting on March 14th. So if you're comparing it to a typical audit timeline, we met a lot sooner than we typically do. That's because we had to change at the finance director spot. The next milestone is bank reconciliations finalized. So we're looking at a typical timeline, but bank reconciliations is probably an atypical milestone, but I'm including it because that's very instrumental in what caused the delay with this FY24 audit. So I want to give you an idea of when we actually reconciled our bank accounts compared to when they should be reconciled. So typically by mid-August, following the year end, you should have your monthly bank reconciliations completed. We didn't get that done until late February of 2025. In my next slide, I'll go into detail as to what contributed to that delay as it relates to the bank reconciliations. The next milestone is final PBC list delivered. So the PBC list, that's the prepared by clients list. The auditors, they usually send us 2 PBC lists for every audit cycle. The first is a preliminary list, and they send that in the spring before they conduct their preliminary field work. And then in the fall, they typically send us a final PBC list, and that usually occurs sometime in August or September. And so for our audit in FY24, we got that list in late October, so a little bit behind schedule. Next milestone, the auditor's final field work. That typically happens right after the PBC list is delivered. So it's happening in September, sometimes early October. The final field work for the FY24 audit timeline has been happening since, I'd say, roughly April of 2025. And that's mostly driven by when we completed our bank reconciliations, which was late February, early March. And it's still ongoing, the field work, because we've gotten requests as recent as last week, so still going. And what the final field work consists of is the auditor sending us testing based on the information that we provide to them in the PBC list. Last milestone is the audit and ACFRA finalized. So the ACFRA is the annual comprehensive financial report. And typically, that is due on December 15th. And that's the Auditors of Public Accounts submission deadline. And right now we are slated to have that completed this month if everything goes according to plan and based on the most recent update that we received from the auditors. So on this next slide, I just want to talk about audit readiness, some of the challenges that we experienced for FY24. The first point is there was a lack of a transition plan. A lot of the institutional knowledge that existed in our department departed. We did have a handoff. I wouldn't describe it as a comprehensive handoff. Initially, we planned to have a series of meetings over the course of a week so we could debrief and get a better understanding of, what all came with the responsibility of, overseeing the finance department. That turned into an abbreviated handoff, and so, we had to figure out a lot without the institutional knowledge at our disposal. Next bullet point, the bank reconciliation is delayed, so I mentioned that I'd go into detail a little bit more about this. So in February of 2024, we started with a 5 to 6 month backlog on our bank reconciliations. So we had to play catch up, and that contributed to the delay and why we didn't get them done until late February of 2025. And our consultants assisted with that effort, I. Bailey and K-Tech. But yeah, 2 points that I just want to stress as it relates to the bank reconciliation. The first is what causes it, what creates so much of a challenge for us is we've got roughly nine different systems that we use to collect revenue across the city and departments. So we have decentralized systems and disparate, I would say, processes that make it somewhat challenging to reconcile our bank accounts on a monthly basis. Also, when we started in February or early March, we didn't really have any standard operating procedures to operate off of. And so, yeah, we're currently now in the process of really finalizing a lot of those SOPs as it relates to bank reconciliations to prevent, in the future, if they're, let's say 10 years down the line, we have a change and someone else comes in the finance department, they'll have documents that they can refer to and they'll have a better idea of how, the processes, what the processes are and how they're implemented. So that's bank reconciliations that contributed to the challenges. And I should have said this from the outset, but these are like the 3 top reasons why I think we were delayed and we're still delayed on the FY24 audit. So that third bullet point is the final PBC list. We got that in late October, as I mentioned. The PBC list relies on the reconciliations. The reconciliations inform what's in the PBC list. There's a general finance section that includes balance sheet, trial balance, expenditures, revenues for the year, all of our journal entries, and you can't really submit that before having your bank reconciliations completed. So that's the justification as to why the PBC list was incomplete. But I did note that after we submitted our bank reconciliations, we followed up with the auditors and asked if there were any outstanding items that we needed to address in March. And we later found out, I would say in May or early June, that we did have some outstanding PBC lists. And every time we got requests related to those PBC list items, we turned them around really, really quickly. And so, yeah, and that's been the case ever since. So, yeah, that's the case with the PBC list incomplete, but admittedly, they were incomplete going into FY 2025. Sorry, calendar year 2025. So here are some lessons learned from the FY24 audit process. I think greater clarity is needed on roles, responsibilities, and expectations between the city and the auditors. Also, I think timely communication throughout the audit process is critical to ensuring that we're on track to meet our deadline. And then lastly, I'll just say operational transitions require way more structure than I think we actually had with this FY24 audit process. And that's on the city side. And also, there was a change to the lead auditor in our engagement, and that was more of an email versus a structured meeting. And just trying to get on the same page on what those changes entailed. So I would just say operational transitions, they require more planning and a little bit more structure. Some corrective actions that we plan to take as it relates to what we learned from the FY24 audit. Our internal processes and our SOPs are being strengthened to ensure that timely bank reconciliations and to ensure that we do have timely bank reconciliations and an overall audit readiness moving forward. We are also recruiting a senior accountant to serve as an additional resource, internal resource. We've got consultants, but we need an internal resource that could spend dedicated hours on helping support the annual audit process. So yeah, we posted an advertisement for that last week. Hopeful that we'll bring in some qualified candidates with that recruitment. And then the third piece there is I think transition from an annual engagement letter to a formal audit services contract that clearly outlines the scope of work, the responsibilities, and the deliverables would go a long way in helping us to moving forward. Right now, as I mentioned, we have annual engagement letters, and we typically get those right before the final PBC list is provided to us. But it doesn't really specify a lot about what the scope is and the deliverables. So I think having that would definitely help us. The path forward, next steps. The goal is to complete this audit in July, as it's stated in our letter to the APA that was sent out last month. Following that, we plan to have a final report that we'll present to the governing body. And then the next step after that would be, hopefully we want to schedule a post-audit debrief with our auditors so we can improve the collaboration and engagement moving forward. Also, I think moving forward, especially just thinking about FY25 already, continuing to provide routine updates to the governing body on the status of the audit, especially once we go into that final audit phase, will allow for you to have your finger on the pulse, per se, more so than it probably has been in the past. But I think that that's a good idea for this FY25 audit, especially considering how compressed the FY24 completion will be as compared to when we'll start the FY25 audit. If you think back to the second slide when we were looking at the table, we should have started our preliminary audit in May, so we're a couple of months behind on the FY25 audit. And then the last point that I wanted to make was our goal for FY25 is to also establish a milestone-based plan aligned with the December 15, 2025 audit completion deadline. So we're all in on trying to make sure that we don't repeat the same thing that happened with this FY24 audit based on what we learned from it. And with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you for your presentation. That was really informative. I like to see the timeline. So in your opinion, the bank reconciliations were really the thing that threw us off, you think?
Bank reconciliations and knowledge gap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we currently caught up with our bank reconciliations right now?
No, we are not. Yeah, we're still running behind on FY25, but the goal is to have FY25 reconciled before August 15th of 2025. And our consultant, K-Tech, has a dedicated accountant that's helping us with that effort.
Do you think in the future we'll be moving to a more monthly bank reconciliation?
Great question. For FY26, starting on July 1, I guess 2 weeks ago, we implemented a daily reconciliation process. So we're doing daily leading up to weekly, then monthly. It'll make monthly easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Comments, questions, starting down to my left.
Can we go back to the chart where you had your chart? Yeah. So is that May, June 23? And then that's March 24?
May, June is just the month, but it's supposed to be the same every year. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah, so in that typical audit timeline, it doesn't specify a year. It's just that in May or June of any given year, that's when it's
I'm
supposed to be.
just trying to see how late it was for the FY '24 audit between March.
Which milestone?
The very first one.
Oh, yeah, initial planning. So the initial planning meeting in the typical audit timeline would have happened in like May of 2024. We just got a head start because of the change at the finance director spot. We started in March instead.
Okay,
The-
and then
the-
where did you,
Sorry, I was gonna say, the typical audit column would be 24 in this case, just
Yeah,
for comparison.
it would be, yeah.
and where were you hired? Were you hired in 2024 or?
Sorry, February 29th, 2024.
Okay, thank you.
The question I have is, you have 9 different systems. I know you're going to a system that's supposed to, a lot of that's supposed to be centralized into one system, or is it going to reduce it to like 3 or 4 systems? And when is that supposed to start?
Yeah,
Transition for that?
Great question. We're implementing Tyler
Munis.
Technologies.
Munis.
Munis, yes. The implementation starts this month. So the getting a better understanding of the APIs, the interfaces with the other systems, we'll find that out during the implementation phase. But what I do know is there are 2 systems that the Treasurer's Office is currently using. Cash One, Revenue One, they're the same. They're under the Avinity umbrella for taxes and cashiering. We're under contract for those systems for at least another couple of years. And then with our Edmunds system for utilities, they're in the process of implementing that right now. Same case, we're under contract with those, so we won't be able to unify those systems.
Yeah, the second question I have is, I know that Munis has the AI component under a newer version, and I'm not saying you have to go to full that, but I know some of that should have automated. A lot of the tasks should be automated, and that should streamline some of the resources that are dedicated to finance. When will that feature probably be built out? Probably like in 26, probably?
Yeah, it would be July 2026,
Okay.
ideally.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, no problem.
How many people are in your team?
Currently, we have FTE or actual live employees.
Whoever, yeah, helps the department.
Yeah, we've got an accounts receivable and grants manager. We've got an AP specialist, and we've got 2 accounting specialists. So 4 team members, myself, and we've also got a temporary accountant on the team from K-Tech.
So is that like 5.5?
Not the half, I would say 5. Yeah, 5, yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, Josh, thank you for the presentation. I know we've talked about this issue, one-on-one a couple times, and how important the audit is for the credit rating, for the bond issuing for the theater, and this is really important. So I appreciate the list of corrective actions. I did notice that, like, you talked about the technology piece that wasn't on the slide specifically, so maybe thinking about how can we work together as a broader city and with the other departments to look for ways to make those 7 systems 5 or 4, to Councilmember Correa's point. And whatever, if you need something from us, it's better to come to us like as soon as possible, right? And I think there's a plan in place, but if that doesn't materialize or it starts to go awry and you need people, training, funding, please come to us as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for presentation. I got no questions. I think all of them have been answered.
Okay.
But I like the corrective actions that you presented. I think are, and also instead of the engagement letter, doing the full audit service with deliverables. I think that's smart. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank y'all for the patience and the support. Thank you.
All right, contract for economic development consultant.
Thank you. I don't have a presentation for this one. As I mentioned a couple months ago, the contract that we had with HGIS for our economic development consulting was going to expire at the end of this month. So they'd been our consultant for a long time, and so we thought it would be prudent to go out to issue an RFP to see what else might be out there to make sure we're getting the best that we can get. We did get 2 responses to the RFP. HGIS put their hat back in the ring, and then we got a response from a firm out of Puerto Rico. The scoring team decided that the firm from Puerto Rico did not meet the minimum criteria that we were using to judge the responses. They didn't have any local experience, and they have a lot of experience. And if we were doing something much, much bigger or recovering from a disaster, looks like this would be the right place. But at the end of the day, we decided that HGIS was the most responsive, and we ended up negotiating a contract with them. And the principals, Quentin and Stephanie, are here tonight. And so what we're looking for tonight is the governing body to award the contract to HGIS for economic development consultant.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that they're staying with us. They've been doing a wonderful job so far. Does this need to be, it said in the packet we'd vote on this at the next meeting, but since you said their contract is up this month and our next meeting is now September 9th, do we want to vote on this tonight?
That's up to you. That was not known at the time, but yes, then that would mean we will be without a consultant for the month of August. And so I would like you to vote on it tonight, but it is up to you.
Okay. Is everyone comfortable in voting?
Yes.
Are there
Yes.
any? Okay, yes, everyone. Are there any comments, questions, / are you comfortable with voting? Start down here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you for doing what you do. I mean, you guys gave our economic development a jumpstart, which is great. My only thing is now, moving forward, we got the movement going on. What is their plan on moving forward on what else we need to do in the downtown? I see you got business retention, expansion and attraction, but some of the businesses are not city-owned businesses, right? They're under private companies that the city has no control over. So are we still footing that bill for the private companies to help their business side out, like across the street?
There were a number of incentives written into some of the leases around here. I'm not intimately familiar with those, but that's not what this is about. If they land a business for us in the city, then that's part of their compensation package. If they don't get paid. And so it's nothing we have control over. It's just trying to attract businesses in the right mix to the downtown area that will continue to inspire growth down here. But we don't have any control over any of it.
The only thing in downtown we have are the 2 spaces below this building and then the steakhouse.
And Park 170 across the street.
That's-
It's not us, it's not what the city owns, it's all of the attraction of the businesses in the downtown area, including the theater.
Right. Well, that's what I have the issue with, is that Park 170 should start taking up their own marketing efforts to acquire their businesses on their end. And that's why I'm thinking why the city is still going to pay for helping their assistance. We gave them a great start. HGIS did an excellent job over there across the street. But I think now Park 170 needs to step up and continue that growth. That's just my opinion there.
And I can't comment on their efforts here. I believe they're working closely with them to do this as a team. And
It would make sense if they split the bill with us, Park 170.
well, the return on investment is the taxes and the attraction of people downtown. I mean,
Right.
$46,000 is not a lot when you consider what you'd be getting on the investment from landing a new business in town and getting the taxes that come along with that. So.
I mean, that's all for now.
I'm okay voting tonight.
Yes, any comments, questions? Are you okay with that? Great. Yeah, it's okay. I'm okay.
So, thank you for everything you've done. You've been successful, and we really appreciate it. It means a lot, and the downtown is flowering now, and it's because of you. So thank you. Yeah, I do want to vote tonight.
I'm okay voting as well. Okay, so just some clarity.
Mhm.
This is budgeted,
Yes.
and it's below the threshold. Do we need a vote on it?
It's
You
a
just have to
contract,
vote
yeah.
for it.
It's what?
It's a contract.
yeah.
Oh,
It's a contract.
okay. Okay.
Can you come up with a motion real quick?
It can be as simple as move to approve the draft agreement with HGIS. I would like the ability to make it's a draft agreement, so with any revisions as may be approved by the city attorney.
Okay, so motion to approve the draft contract with HGIS, subject to final city attorney review.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. I'm very happy you guys are staying
Thank
with
you.
us.
They split the bill, right? Cassie?
Well, yeah, that's, Park 170, we gotta talk to them about that.
All right, reclassification of a part-time position to full-time in the registrar's office. Hello.
Good evening, governing body, city manager, or city, good evening, governing body. I've been asked to come back this evening to approach the position that we had asked to be moved to full-time back last year during the budget period, and this year again. I've been asked to come back because there has been money that has been found to fill that gap. I was also asked to bring my board members for support, that they did agree that we should be adding that position as a full-time position. I also know that there's code that backs this, 24.2-112. It's a deputy registrar and employees. It states that the electoral board has direct control over the number of staff we have and whether they are full-time and part-time, and that the governing body would go ahead and fund those type things. So I'm here this evening with that to be brought forward.
Thank you. I'm excited that we found the money to finally fund this. Comments, questions, starting to my left.
None.
Now, the only comment I have, and I've spoken to you before, I'm going to be supportive of this because we've gone to 45 days when I think before it was like 10 days, and the state should be paying for this, not us. But, you know, it's another thing. But so, and I know your team has been overworked and it's been difficult, even with primary with 45 days. So I'm going to support it. Thank you.
No questions.
No questions.
All right. Staff recommendation is that the governing body approve a motion to amend the FY26 budget to fund the full-time deputy registrar position.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Everyone for coming out
Thank you.
tonight. All right, voting on the proffer condition amendment, are there any, from the public hearing, are there any final comments or questions? Starting with this, Steve.
No.
No.
Any last minute? Okay. Staff recommendation is that the governing body approve proffer condition amendment PCA 28-06-1 Village at Manassas Park as presented.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. We have arrived at our second public comment time. Is there anyone who would like to make public comment? Okay. City manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple things tonight. You might have noticed when you were coming into the building that there are a couple of cones sitting in the parking spaces to the left of the main entrance. It's come to our attention that those spaces are used primarily by staff who get here early and they park their cars there and then leave them there all day. We're going to be getting our parking lot back in its entirety here shortly from the VRE construction project. And we have a lot of people that come to City Hall to do short-term business, especially upstairs with the registrar and the Commissioner of Revenue. So I made the decision to make those two spaces 30-minute spaces so that people have time to come in. I also noticed that a couple times a month when people are coming in to pay their bills, they just stop in the middle of the road because there's nowhere for them to park while they run and dump something in the bill box there. So give credit where credit's due. This is actually the mayor's suggestion. I think it's a good one, and you'll see that construction happening this week.
Good job, Mayor. Thank you.
Last thing is, I just wanted to give you some quick numbers on the 5th of July event. So Placer AI has 5,200 individual cell phones that were in the park that night. Placer AI tracks cell phones only, so I don't know what the age is that kids get cell phones these days, but let's say 12 or 10. So it's 5,200 plus however many kids there were at that event. Got really good feedback for that. 9 p.m. was the peak time for people to be there, which makes sense, right before the fireworks went off. And the average stay time was 95 minutes. 42.5% of them came from our zip code, which you know doesn't necessarily mean our city because it isn't limited here. 7.5% came from the city of Manassas, and 5.7 came from Prince William at large out towards Woodbridge. So just a little recap on that. I think that's very successful. I think it's real easy to say we had over 6,000 people come and enjoy the event. So,
Nice.
and I don't have anything else unless you have questions for me.
Anyone have questions? Start to the left.
No.
No?
Nope.
Oh, you know I do.
She does now.
Sure, go ahead.
Sorry. Have you thought about, I understand the 30-minute, I agree with that definitely, but just asking employees not to park in some of the
Closer?
Yeah, the closer parking, just have them park out. I know that other jurisdictions do that, just have the employees park out further and then just to let citizens have the closer parking to come in and out. Even, not have it designated as in with signs or anything, just as a kind of suggestion to employees or just asking them as the city manager to do that.
Yeah, I intend to do that once we get the parking lot back. As you know, the whole first deck of the garage is ours, and so I intend to have employees park in the garage. Because not only people that are here for 30 minutes, but people coming to the library, I mean,
Yeah.
they might be here for 5 hours, but they still are visitors, they're not employees. So I intend to do that once we have more parking space.
Yeah, it would also allow them a little faster access to some of our businesses over here too.
Yep, absolutely.
So, great, thank you.
I want to say thank you to Jay for the 4th of July event. It was fantastic. Wonderful fireworks, wonderful feedback. I've heard a lot of people saying it was the best in the area. So thank you so much to your team.
Congratulations.
All right, we have closed meeting. Motion states that the governing body convene a closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1 for discussion of personnel matters.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. We are in closed meeting.